Who is Shane Holmes?
When you have a brand, you're like in a different dimension.
I know why it's working for you.
Ferraris have made me way more money than.
We don't go on broker tours in my office. And if you don't like that.
Hey, welcome back to Driven Channel. And I'm really excited here to have one of the top realtors, like $1 million agents, Shane Holmes, Ventura, LA. But I like your niche. You want me to tell you something like very important?
Please do.
That I know why it's working for you.
Let's hear it.
Because you're not doing like 10 million plus. You're not doing under $1 million. You're like right at, you have that niche where I see so much potential where you're like at 1.5 to like 2, 3, 4, 5 million. And not a lot of people are focusing on that, those numbers.
Mm-hmm.
You have very few agents, like maybe Josh Altman or Ryan Serhant, they have those 100 million, 80 million, $50 million deals, but they don't do a lot of those. You're doing 150 units this year.
That's our goal, yeah.
And you've done 30 million in 15 days.
30 million in 15 days.
And so like you could do a lot more volume, and nobody has taken over that niche. I think you take like you have. It's for you to lose it. You have all the potential to take over that niche. 1.5 to 5 million. Nobody has control of that. So like you're really killing it. I know you've been in real estate for, I believe, 8 years or so.
Decade now.
And I saw an interview you did 5 years ago. Because I prepare for everything that I do.
Oh, sick.
So I saw a 5-year-old podcast that you did.
You did?
And you were doing 20 million back then, and you were closing about 15 units.
Yeah.
And so you've always been big on social media, on running ads, spending money, like reinvesting the money into your business. And you're still, you're a young guy. You have a lot of, you're just acting quick and putting in a lot of work. Mm-hmm. So for those watching here that are new to Shane Holmes, who is Shane Holmes? Why is it Shane Holmes? I know your last name is Dulgar.
I'm going to watch you put it. It's Dulgarov.
Dulgarov.
Yeah.
So are you like Romanian or?
It's Bulgarian, but I'm a Bulgarian citizen here in Australia.
Yeah. So why Shane Holmes? And what do you think has been like what's helped you the most in growing like quick in real estate and focusing on that niche that you're focusing on right now?
So Shane Holmes came because I needed to start an Instagram account that wasn't Shane.
Yeah.
So I thought, well, what's an appropriate name? Shane Holmes. And then everybody started calling me Shane Holmes. And for the longest time, I was like, I kind of like, it doesn't sound luxury. I just like, I like, everyone knows my last name. I went to all the schools here, whatever. And the second that I went all in on Shane Holmes and I embraced it and I changed all of my branding and started just nailing it, that's when my company started to scale. It wasn't until I really went all in on branding that we started to capture large portions of the market, and also that it's a memorable name. Like when you hear Shane Holmes, it's like Shane Dolvier, whatever. You can't pronounce it. So I went with something that was catchy, and other people wanted it, so I just went for it. In terms of what has established me in my market and why I think we're going to be able to get to $250 million in sales this year, it all started from just 12-hour days, 7 days a week. Door knocking 5 days a week, 30 to 50 doors, no excuses. Doesn't matter if your back hurts, doesn't matter if it's raining outside. You're going to go out and hit 50 doors. And we do 2 open houses every single weekend, no matter what. And if you do that, it's almost harder to not be successful than it is to make it.
2 open houses on Saturday and 2 open houses on Sunday?
Two every weekend. So 1 on Saturday, 1 on Sunday, 1 to 4 p.m. Put out a ton of signs, get your branding out there online and in person. So like in your market, it's important to have that signage that people see. So they see you online, they see you in person, they see your signage out in the marketplace. And if you're doing those things, you're going to make it.
Yeah. And you have a farm, right?
Yeah, I basically...
You specialize in...
I specialize in Westlake Village. So Westlake, we're taking a lot of market share right now. That the 30 million that we have under contract so far this year, a lot of that is Westlake. Some of it's Palisades.
Yeah. What you're doing that's very smart is you're focusing like on your farm.
Yeah.
Because if you try to be that's the LA realtor or California realtor, it's just too much space.
Yeah.
But when you focus on an area, like you become like a celebrity in that area, then everybody's gonna be like, oh, I know Shane Holmes. Do people stop you sometimes and they say like, hey, I know who you are, Shane Holmes?
Everywhere, every time we go out to dinner.
Yeah.
Like it's unavoidable that if we go out to dinner, we're gonna get stuff somewhere, and it's cool. Like sometimes when you're with your family, you kind of want to just chill, but it is honestly a blessing. I do love it when people come up and say hi, because it's the proof that the past 10 years we're just nothing.
How important was the Ferrari?
Ferrari was big because
Was it worth it?
fuck yeah. I don't know if I can swear, but
No.
every
Yeah,
single car I've owned, like the Performante, the STO, blah blah blah, all the cars that I've had, being a part of the car community has been huge for my company. Like we've got the millions and millions of dollars in listings from just being affiliated with the car company. And we just signed one 2 days ago for 2.3 million from just another car guy that like we really get along. So owning supercars and being relevant in that space, I think it is a great idea.
Yeah. Because if somebody comes and I'm selling my house and one person is driving like that, let's just say the Huracan, and then somebody else has like I think the Ferrari. I would go with the Ferrari.
It's funny because I'm in a marketplace where some of these people have some way more money than I do, like by a long shot.
Like other agents?
No, some because like I'm a member of this country called Sherwood, which I was
Expensive.
it was a nut to get in, and but a lot of these people, like surprisingly, you don't want to take your Ferrari to their listing appointment because they have so much money that doesn't impress them. They don't care. But for social media purposes and for building relationships with people, the car community has been honestly pretty big for my companies.
Yeah. So you focus on the listings rather than getting the selling side.
Yeah.
You still do a lot of selling sides, but I think you have a team. You want to elaborate on that? Why is it that you're focused on the listing?
In terms of listings have babies. Listings reproduce.
You said that in order to become a successful real estate agent, if you want to scale, you got to focus on the listings. I think I heard you say once, I don't even look at or consider sales, but you still get some sales. But you're like focused on the listing.
It's an afterthought. When you get a bunch of listings, the buyers will come to you, and you service the buyers that come to you, but you do not chase buyers. You chase a buyer, you might not get paid on it. A and B, it's much more time intensive. When you take a listing, I have a process. Like our company is like a machine. When we intake a listing, we have check. Did we knock out our social media stuff? And it's like a well-oiled machine that sells listings at a very high level. Buyers, when they come in, we also service them at a very high level, but we don't chase that business. Yeah. When it comes to us, we service it.
So out of your 150 transactions this year, how many do you think are listings versus sales?
Well, out of the 30 million business that we've done this month, 2/3 listings. And then maybe the other third is like representing the buyer on their own listings, or just a seller who listed their house with us that also needs to buy something. And then some people that hit us up to buy, but it's probably 75, 20,000.
How do you feel about double ending deals, like versus having other agents sell?
You just have to be careful because in this business, especially being the owner of my own firm, someone gets sued, it's me. And where people go wrong in double popping things is when they intentionally do it. When you go out of your way to try and double end a deal and like not show the property to other people and not do what's in the best interest of your seller, that's when you get in trouble. Double ending is great. You make twice the money, but it's also your highest liability point. So you have to be careful about how you go about closing this deals.
So how do you go from, so you were at 20 million 5 years ago. So let me just do the math. 20 million. So you go from 20 million to 40 million to 80 million, that's 3 years, to 160 million, 5 years, 320 million. Can you do 320 million this year?
Could I get to 320? I mean, dude, if we stay on track of what we're doing right now,
because doubling every year is realistic.
Well, what we're doing right now is way more than doubling what we did last year.
can I challenge you for 320 million this year?
That's, yeah, I'm down.
So question for you.
Yeah.
Doubling is very uncommon. Like not a lot of sales people or sales companies double every year.
Mhm.
So for the last 5 years, it's safe to say that you're doubling.
No, we actually have kind of a weird path. I've done a lot of flips, so I've made a lot of money off of real estate development and flips. So my income has scaled as such, but not my sales volume. Not always my sales volume. Like last year, we did a big flip. I think we made probably like 300 or 400 grand on that deal, and then the rest of it was a sales volume. But all last year, like I had a horrible year for sales. I did really well on flip, but I invested like almost every dollar to my name.
Maybe it was a distraction.
Into the company. Flipping was a bit of a distraction, even though it made $400,000. If I could go back in time, I probably would have been better off just focusing on scaling.
Yeah, because 320 million. What's your average? What's the average commission on a listing?
50 Gs probably.
Yeah. So I mean, that's my point is, if you've grown and this year you decided to like, okay, maybe I'm gonna focus now because 150 transactions, that could be 300 million plus, just to keep it safe. Now, in order to reach that, are you gonna stop the flips, or are you gonna do both?
Anything that I do flip related will be in a partnership. So like I have developers that I do a lot of deals with now where like I'll sell tracts of land that can be developed, and I'll broker those deals and then maybe get a piece of equity and I'll build out the 18 houses or whatever it is. And then I'll get the listing on the back end. Yeah. I'm better off going on a 50-50 split with someone like that that's already making me so much money on these other deals and not being greedy and letting them do the legwork, not taking as much money and just focusing on sales. Yeah, that's probably the best way to do it. But honestly, last year to this year, we're talking about like a 10 multiplier. Yeah. And it's just from focusing and building out the systems. Also.
You build out a huge brand too. How important has building your personal brand as a real estate agent been?
It's everything. When you're a real estate agent, if you don't have a personal brand, like you're just a sales agent. Like you're just relying on what you can get into your hands and what you can kill. Like you're basically out in the wild hunting and just throwing spears and shit. When you have a brand, you're like in a different dimension. You're attracting business and you're not having to work for it. It's like building a cash flowing asset and people don't look at it the right way, and they don't spend enough time, energy, and money on building their brand. Because once your brand is big enough and enough people know about you, you don't have to sit open houses. Yeah, I mean, I still do it because I want to keep growing, but I think it's huge.
Yeah, but that's good that you do that, because most people, when they start making some money, they get lazy. Then they won't do open houses. I'm too good for it. They'll stop doing certain things, start knocking. I see you waking up, like you're waking up at 4 or 5 in the morning every day. And then you have your routine where you spend time with the kids in the morning, and then you go door knock, and then you're up late. You get home, late, and you repeat every day. And then you're still spending a lot of money on ads, on marketing. So you're doing both. How much have you spent? Like, you don't have to give me a number exactly, but how much have you spent a lot of money marketing and on ad spend in the last 5 years or more that has allowed you to grow faster? And also, I think the answer is yes, but you tell me. But if the answer is yes, why do you still keep working hard and still keep spending a lot of money in your brand and your business and marketing? Why are you doing both?
God does a really weird thing when you start working hard and like working with your hands in the field and you're going out and door knocking. You might not get a listing that day, but you're going to go and get 3, 4, 5, $10 million of business somewhere else in your company because of that effect of putting in hard work. So anytime I have free time, I don't sit there, I don't relax. I'm either out door knocking, I'm making follow-up phone calls. And those are the two activities that make you money in this business, in my opinion. Obviously, filming content, things of that nature as well. But if I am not on listing appointments, I am making phone calls door. And I think too many people try to get cute with it. Like, this isn't fucking rocket science, bro. We're selling real estate.
Yeah.
You just have to put in the hard work and you will make it.
And on ads, have you spent a lot of money on ads? Marketing?
Well, last year, like I said, I burned through like $1 million last year.
Just on marketing?
Marketing, country club, which I kind of.
That's marketing.
Yeah, it's pretty much marketing. And you got to be careful. Like, I'm not in your face. How much do you pay for that? It's like 160, 70K.
Do you remember?
Something like that.
Was your wife excited about that?
Yeah.
She liked it?
She loves it. Yeah. Because we take the kids there. We meet a lot of nice new families that are good families.
You get listings from her?
It's kind of starting to, but like I said, with that type of a crowd and that type of environment, like, it's something where it just kind of naturally happens, and you don't want to be that guy that's in your face with that. Because
It's like being around billionaires. It's gonna do something good for you.
yes, and I will tell you what I've gotten from there, more than listings. I'm golfing with people that are worth 15 times as much as I am, and the way their brains work is just different. Like, they're more creative than the average Joe. They're taking bigger risks than the average Joe. And you talk to these guys and see how they structure their finances and grow their companies. And you're like, oh, there's a nugget there. There's a nugget there. And I didn't think about that when I joined. But now that I'm talking to these guys, holy shit, dude, it's crazy. Yeah. It's crazy. I'm sure you experience the same thing when you meet with Patrick Bet-David or whoever it is. I'm sure you're picking up these nuggets and you're like,
Well, one of my best friends is Neil Patel. You know Neil Patel?
I saw him on I saw you post with him. I haven't done a podcast or anything with him yet, but some of my friends speak highly of him.
Yeah, he's one of my most successful friends that I have.
Really?
Yeah. A lot of people don't know it.
And how did you get introduced to Patrick Bet-David?
Instagram. I DM'd him like 12 years ago, like 11 years ago.
You slid in the DMs?
And yeah, but I used my Ferrari to build reports.
Oh, you know what? I saw a reel on that once.
Yeah. Well, I did it on your show.
Yeah. So you met Patrick Bet-David with the Ferrari.
You probably met a lot of people with the Ferrari at your flare.
Yeah, it's been a gate opener. Like, it does open doors. Are there certain times where I look at the money allocated towards supercars and go, what if I bought a couple more houses when rates were 3%? Like, of course you have that thought, but
a Ferrari has made me more money than all the real estate that I bought.
Really?
Yeah. I bought like 9 Ferraris.
Mm-hmm.
And I bought like 18 properties. The Ferraris have made me way more money than the real estate.
Interesting. I would have never thought that, because
I think when you're building a business like yourself and you're growing it, like, personal brand is huge.
I think
so. If you look at it that way, like when you could flash a little bit and show the lifestyle, and then what you have that I have is that you're a family man. Mm-hmm. So you're ethical. You take care of your family. You're a good dad. You're a good husband, and you run a business. And then they see the Ferraris. Then all of that, it adds up, and they're like, "Oh, you know what? I trust this guy. I want to work with this guy.
Yeah,
he has a good company." Now, if you're making okay money, then don't buy the Ferrari. Buy a house and pay it down, pay it off, or maybe get some multi-units, and it'll be a good investment. Because those people, that's what they want. That's their dream life. Or most people want to get their house, a yard, build a family, mm-hmm. or they want to invest in real estate. But somebody like you that wants to build a huge business, I know you're very ambitious. I know you want to build something big, and you will. Then for you, the Ferrari will be way bigger investment than a house or real estate, because it's going to get you that Patrick Bet-David, Grant Cardone, the brand and the awareness, and the people are going to want to be like, damn, you know what, this guy's winning big. It's all marketing too.
Yeah. The way that I have won with supercars is that I started by buying multifamily. I bought a duplex in Newbury Park for like $580,000 when I was 23, 24. And I told myself that I would not buy a supercar until I had a tenant that was paying for it. So I bought the duplex, and once the other unit was rented out for like $2,000 or $1,700, whatever it was, I went and I leased an Aston Martin, and the tenant made the payment. Then I bought another 3 unit in Thousand Oaks, and then I had that cash flow, and then I upgraded and I got like a Turtle S or whatever it was. Then it ended up that I now have like, not gonna say exactly how many, but I have a good real estate portfolio, and I've always used my cash flow from my investments to cover my stupid lease payments, because they're stupid. Like, they're really stupid in a way, but they're really smart in a way. So that's how, at least how I structured it from an early age, so that I could do it responsibly. And I'm pretty happy that I did that, because a good portion of my net worth is derived from the real estate debt that I bought in the hell of the time. Yeah, luckily I bought all of it at like 3%, except for about one house.
So you still have 2%, right?
I have like 9 units at 3%.
Keep them.
Yeah, I refuse. Like, I've gotten close to running out of money before, and I'm just like, nope, I am not selling any of that shit. I'm going back to work.
Hey, Shane, you know what? Like, I really respect and admire the fact that you are very, like, you're not afraid to tell people like, hey, I almost ran out of money. Hey, you know what? It's been ups and downs. Not a lot of people say that. I'm like that. I've always said, people tell me like, hey, this happened to you, this happened to you, that happened to you. I'm like, cool. Like, I mean, look at me now. But people, when you start doing good, people start like criticizing you and things like that. You're not afraid to say the truth and like spit facts to help people. Why are you like that?
I think that too many people do a really bad job of showcasing what it's actually like to be successful. It's fucking hard. Like, you're gonna go through hard shit. You're gonna almost run out of money, and you're gonna have to use credit lines sometimes. But then you're gonna come out on the other side, and you're gonna be like, holy shit, look what we just built. We just built something bigger than we could have ever imagined. And I want people to understand that, like, it's okay if you're down. If you're trying to scale big and you're going for it, it's inevitable that you are going to have a hard time. And I don't want people to feel just because they're going through a hard time, like they're doing something wrong. Yeah. Because if it's not happening at some point in your career, you're not trying to go big enough. So that's why I like being transparent with people. And also, like, you can't say shit about me. I've already told you I almost ran out of money. Like, what are you going to say? You know?
Do you have haters in it or no?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah, dude. Like, being a young guy, because I started selling when I was fucking 20.
Yeah.
And I started taking a lot.
You're 30?
I'm 31 now. 31. And I started taking a lot of market share very early on in my career. And it started from like day one. I'd had like a freaking knife in a for sale sign. And I used to get reported to the board all the time for like small marketing infringements, nothing unethical. But like, it's always been like that, being a young, hungry guy taking market share from people. And as I've gotten older, now that I've started the firm and I own my own firm, you just find that people that you even think that you are your friends in the marketplace, like, they want nothing but for you to crash and burn.
So talk about your firm. When I met you, I don't think you had your firm yet, right? Did it happen after that?
I started my firm in February of last year. I was thinking about going a different direction with the brokerage. Something in my gut was like, I need to move.
So we had to talk.
Yeah. And my gut was 100% correct, because the firm I was with went under. They had a huge change in ownership. And like, my gut, like 3 months before it happened, was like, we got to do something. So I think that was God kind of like guiding me in the right direction of what to do in that moment. So I decided to start my own firm. And it's been amazing, mostly because I thought that it would be cool building out and bringing in all these agents. It's actually just mostly my own sales volume that I focus on. And it's been really cool to be able to set the tone in our office. We have Shane owns culture. We don't have Karen walking around the office talking about her deal that just fell apart and like being a Debbie Downer and just going to the office on Tuesdays to go to broker tour and eat some free fucking brownies. Yeah. Like, we don't go on broker tours in my office. We work 12-hour days. And if you don't like that, get the fuck out. If that's not your culture, if you don't want to be successful, you're not in my office. And that has probably been the biggest thing that I think has helped. Like, what you have here, bro, this is incredible.
Yeah.
Like, you've done such an amazing job of building this infrastructure of people around you that want you to win, and they see how you've won and they want to emulate what you have done. And I think I've taken a little piece of that, and you've given me some really good advice, and kind of put that into my culture. And now we only have winners around, and that's been the best thing about starting a.
So one thing that we do here for the culture, because my people, they work Saturdays, Sundays, and holidays. And what I do is, like, for example, like, hey, if you close a deal on it's different for all the businesses, but it's very similar. Like Saturdays and Sundays, if they close a deal, like if they swipe a credit card on Sunday or Saturday, they get 5% extra commission. So they want to work Saturdays and Sundays. So it entices them on the weekends. Sundays, it's a little harder because Sundays they want to get, sometimes they want to relax, go to the beach, have a beer, whatever, but or spend time with the girlfriend. So on Sunday, I'm like, hey, Sundays you get same day pay. So spiffs, right? So they'll close the deal on Sunday. They get a sale or an Apple Pay. They get paid same day commission. It's holidays. They get 5% extra plus same day pay. So sometimes, like today, or especially on Fridays. On Fridays, people they're excited. So on Fridays, we have this like, hey, if you reach X amount by 3 p.m. We'll go out to happy hour, on me, unlimited drinks, unlimited food, and 3 hits, and they're on a roll.
I love it, dude.
So then we send a message like in the group chat. Hey, you guys, it's 3. You want to go or what do we do? So vote, and the votes like going back and forth, but staying here in production mode. So if you want to stay in production mode, or do you want to go to happy hour and eat? And then people are like, production mode is winning. So then I kind of feel bad, and I'm like, you guys, look, what if we stay in production mode, but I order Shake Shack or order whatever, bring it here, and I'll just get a bunch of Veuve Clicquot bottles of champagne, and we do both. We stay in production mode, but we have the nice champagne, and we have the nice like Shake Shack or whatever. Yeah. And they're like, yeah, let's do that. So they're like, they don't want to leave the office because they want to stay in production mode because they're making more money. So that's the culture we have here. People like sleep here because they don't want to leave, because they want to close that deal because somebody's going to get like home at 10 p.m. and then they're going to get their credit card, whatever. But that's the culture we have here. And then when they close the deal, we hit the gong, and they've been breaking gongs. So the gong doesn't last more than a month, and they're just like bam, bam, bam. So there's a movie called We Work. Have you seen it? Mm-hmm. It's a documentary. You got to watch it on Hulu. It's We Work, a documentary. We copied a lot of things from that. So it's just the culture that we have. And then we party hard here. Like people like, or we want to have a big production day, because then everybody's like, oh, now we get to pop a bottle of champagne. And so it's the maniacs we have here. They're crazy. Like you've seen some of them, but it's just a crazy culture we have. We want to win. We only win, and nobody beats us.
I love that. Honestly, it wasn't until I took on that mindset this year of like, okay, these other guys are acting how they're going to act. Like, you know what? Let's do it then. Like, you want to go to war? Let's go to war. Let's see who wins. And I found that I do much better with that mindset. Instead of, oh yeah, let's all like be friends. It's a small sandbox, blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm not going to be rude to you. I'm going to beat the shit out of you. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to really go for the win, and I'm going to treat it like a competition, and I'm going to try and win. And it wasn't until we started doing what you just said that we started doing $30 million per month in volume.
Yeah.
And I think it takes that mindset.
So talk about your office. Like where's your office? Where's your company? How many people are part of your company? If people are watching this and they're like, hey, you know what? I want to work. I want to be part of that culture. I want to be part of Shane's leadership. Tell them about your vision and your company. How does it look like?
So we're on the water in Westlake Village, and right now, like, it is very hard to join my company because we don't just add people. We are a small army in the office. It's me, Tyler, who's holding the cameras, and my boy Craig, who literally DM'd me on Instagram and was like, hey, I just want to work for you like for free. can I just like come join? Like, I'm hungry, pay me commission only. And because he had no resume or anything at all. And I was like, you know what? Let me give this kid a shot. And he's starting to kill it. He's starting to absolutely kill it on the phone and book appointments.
The production that you did, 30 million. You're telling me that you did that with only, you have like 3 people?
That's just my raw hands, bro. I mean, a large, pretty much all of it that my operations manager here can attest, is just me going out there and having a focused mindset, a clear mindset, and the right people around. It doesn't take a lot of people. It takes a lot of focus, and everybody in the office is focused. There's no bullshit. No, like, there's just no fucking around. If you're in the office, we're here to make money. We're here to win. And everyone has to be on the same page. And last year we didn't have that. And it's a night and day difference. But yeah, our 30 million that we did in 15 days, it was literally us 2 or 3 on the phones. Primarily, like, we'll get someone on, like Craig will get someone on the phone. And if they're like really good, I'll just like jump in and just close it. He's Craig. That's Tyler. Tyler's my operations manager. We went to high school together.
But he's multi-dimensional.
He's multi-dimensional, dude. He's our operations. Like, I call him my operations manager because he's a fucking wizard with the camera, but he's also in the business.
What's the name of your company?
Shane Holmes.
Shane Holmes. So it's like you have a corp for that, and all that.
Yep. We have S Corporation.
So in the next, let's think 5 years further.
Mm-hmm.
In 5 years, like, how does Shane Holmes real estate look like? Are you gonna have X amount of agents? Are you guys gonna be doing X amount of millions? How does that look like?
Well, we're kind of on.
Do you have an exit plan?
We're kind of on track to do like probably 8 million in GCI this year, with our current trajectory. If I can keep it the same rate that we're going right now, which is looking pretty good,
You just can't stop.
we just can't stop. And like Tyler will attest, like, when we leave the office, I literally said today, like, cool, congratulations, great fucking month. Guess what? We're starting over next month. So like, job's not done. Do not get excited. This shit vanishes in a day. Keep going. Keep fucking going. So exactly what you said. My goal probably, and the reason why I started my own firm, is that once we have a consistent P&L for a few years of doing, 8 million to 12 million, somewhere in that range in gross profit, I think that one of the larger brokerage firms will probably buy us. And that is potentially the exit, or this could just be like an asset that is held in the family who's own this real estate firm, and it can be something to be passed out to my kids or wherever.
So when you sell, if you sell, how many agents do you have
Right now,
No, like in 5 years or 3 years or so how many
Honestly,
agents do you vision?
I'm so laser focused on just doing $250 million in sales this year, 200 million in sales this year, that like I don't have that mapped out.
Yeah.
If I can do $8 to $12 million a year commissions, like I'm relatively happy with that. I'm sure it'll change once I get there and I'm doing it consistently. I'll have a better answer for that. But right now, that is literally the only thing I care.
Because you have two options. Like the way I see it, you build a huge brand like Josh Altman or Ryan Serhat, and then it's your brand. So then you could keep making tens of millions of dollars just because of your personal brand, because you could do virtual coaching or you'll be like the celebrity real estate agent as long as you keep building your brand. But the other option is, what if you build thousands of agents that work under you, where you don't have to have that big coaching platform, but you have a bunch of agents that are driving the production. So meaning the business works without you. Well, what are you more excited or leaning towards? Do you want to build something like a Ryan Serhat, Josh Altman, or do you want to build a firm with thousands of agents that have the majority production?
I lean towards like having like maybe some form of franchise model that we could go across the nation with, like kind of prove our sales method and how our ads work and how we're closing people and franchise out across the United States. Or I kind of like what you're doing with Driven, where you're kind of like really selling coaching to people. And that's actually a good conversation because I was going to ask you what your opinion was on after this year. If we hit our sales goal, does it make sense to add in or pivot a company adjacent to that and build out that infrastructure at that time?
Yeah, both are great. But like I said, like this year focus on, so if you focus on building the business, I want you to have like, a goal could be having 1,000 other real estate agents that you mentor, and they work under you and they close a lot of deals. You close maybe the bigger deals because you are the personal brand, and then you could sell the coaching. So now you sell coaching, trainings, masterminds. So you are the brand, but then you have 1,000 other agents that are also producing deals.
I have like a really cool concept that I haven't rolled out yet that I've kind of been like gatekeeping a little bit, but whatever, I'll just talk about it. My model is it's like a coaching model where there's like there's a monthly fee affiliated with like a coaching, like a group coaching. You are getting like time, you are getting value, etc. And then instead of like having people at the firm, it's just you pay a 9% to a 19% referral fee on every deal that you do to be a part of our team. And you don't have to move your license over to us. You can stay at Compass, you can stay at Keller Williams, whatever. And you can also be within our coaching infrastructure. And that way I don't need to license out in other states. I have less overhead, I have less risk.
Yeah.
And they don't have to deal with moving their license. So that's also a model that I've kind of been pointing with.
Yeah, there's a lot of models, and if you stick to it, they'll work. But I've tried it. I tried everything, and we'll talk about that. But I have some good ideas for you. Cool. Now for let's say realtors watching this, how do you get your business? Like, what's the number? Or what's your top 2 ways of getting business? Because I know you do a lot of Facebook. I know you run a lot of ads. Like, I know you're door knocking now, and you're doing open houses, and you're doing a lot of the hard labor work outside. But you also make a lot of money the smart way, which is you leverage social media and advertising.
Yeah.
How exactly do you run your ads, and how do your ads look like? And for, let's say, realtors, they want to reach out to you later and they want to learn more. I know you can't say everything here because it's not enough time.
Yeah.
But give them a little taste of like, how do you do your ads to get the business?
To be honest, most of my money is made in the old school way. Like, yes, I get a lot of business from Instagram and it just kind of like comes in. So I would say the most important thing is posting organic content and being very consistent with it and building your brand locally. That is
Building your brand locally. That's good.
Building your brand locally. You need to focus. Like, you need to have a spot where you're like, I'm going to be number one.
So in other words, you can't be like a California realtor. You got to be a realtor in your area.
Our YouTube TV show that we're filming right now is called Selling Westlake. Now, yes, we're going to get deals in the Palisades, like the one where we just signed for $4.4 million. We're going to get deals in Ventura, like we have 2 deals in Ventura for 2.5. We do all of that, but you need to have something that you are that guy.
Yeah.
You are the person that I call for that asset class to sell. So you need to have that kind of figured out. Once you have that figured out, you need to brand in that space. But more importantly than branding is you need to be in the market sitting 2 open houses every weekend. I cannot tell you how much money I've made from open houses. Every time they come in, and this is what I'm going to give to everybody, there's an app called Open Home Pro. You get an iPad. Every single person that comes in that door has to log in to Open Home Pro. You now have their data. You call every single person on Monday. And if you don't call every single phone number that came in your open house that Saturday and Sunday, on Monday, you may as well not even set that open house.
Right.
You're not going to talk to those people ever again. They don't give a fuck about you. They don't know who you are. And even if they do know who you are, like a lot of people do in my marketplace, if I'm not on the phone giving them attention, I'm not closing them. So open house, build that brand, send out your fucking mailers. It's common sense. And door knock 5 days a week. That's it. There's no rocket science involved. I can't give anybody this master guru
Yeah,
game.
but who wants to door knock 5 times a week and then do open houses on Saturdays and Sundays? Me.
You know,
So the people
that's the difference, bro. That's the people that are going to make
That's what
it.
it takes to drive Ferraris, supercars, and be
I
a
think
member of the clubs.
I think that if you want to make it and you're starting from scratch like I did when I was 20 years old, that's what it takes.
So your wife doesn't give you like throwback, like what? Why are you working so much?
I carve out time. So like I'm very intentional. So like I do try to be home by 5, 4 days a week. I'd say I average I'm home by 5 o'clock. I'm still working from home, I'm still texting, blah, 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 but I'm with my kids. We're sitting down, we have dinner. Weekends, before open houses, we go to church together, we go to brunch together. So I'm maximizing my time with my family. But before that, before I had a family, from like 20 to 27, bro, 7 days a week, 12 hours a day, go, 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 go.
Yeah. So you believe in not leaving a white space in the calendar.
No, and if you do have white space, fill it up with door knocking and cold calls. White space is for losers. That's how you lose money.
White space is something.
It's when you
Brokies.
it's for brokies. It's if you don't want to be successful, leave a gap in your calendar and scroll on TikTok. If you find yourself looking on your phone, scrolling through Instagram, and you want to be successful, you ask yourself, what the fuck am I doing right now? And why am I not out knocking on someone's door and making a cold call?
Yeah.
Otherwise, you just can't make it. You have to maximize your time. Everyone has the same amount of time in every day.
So open houses, you would say, is the number one way that you get business.
I would say open houses is really high up there. Probably now that have a bigger influence on social media, I'd say that's probably just now starting to become number one. But it's really open.
Because go to the open house, you're there.
Oh yeah.
And then people are like, oh shit, I know you're shooting homes.
Sometimes, but I'd say probably half the people have no fucking idea who I am, and I need to convince them why I am the best person to close their deal.
And your open house, is it homes that your listings, or do you do open houses of other listings?
So get this. This year, I had a weekend that I was free. There's 26, I sent out 26 text messages to every single listing in my marketplace to see if they would let me sit in open house that weekend, because I had a goal this year I wanted to hit and I knew I was going to get there. I messaged every single one, and one person said yes, and I sat that open house that weekend. Don't be too good to do the shit work. Like, go out of your way and maximize your time, find your angle. And because I sat that open house, I have a $4 million salary in North Ranch and Westlake. So like, do the work and you will be rewarded.
So you spend a lot of money on ads, you do the dirty work. Now, to wrap it up here, to close out, how important is having a great lender?
A lender is one of the biggest assets in your business. And I just talked about this today. I had some guy send me a video say like, hey,
You probably get approached by a lot of lenders
all the time. I get a message, hey, and it was a really nice video and a really nice kid. But I'm thinking to myself, when I have a $5 million deal on the line and I'm representing the buyer and the seller, and it's 100, 200 grand, you can't risk that deal falling apart. You need to know that the lender that's doing that deal, shout out Frankie, is going to close it.
Right.
Frankie's my lender. The mortgage guys, let's go, baby.
That's right.
Albert and Frankie.
Albert and Frankie. So you need to make sure that your loan is going to close. And a lot of times, if you're going with a random person or like the buyer kind of has their own lender, you don't know who they are. They can't tell you how many times I've lost 100 grand because of that. I've had on my own properties in Westlake. I had this sick single story that I was going to refinance at 4%, and the loan fell apart because the lender fucked up. That cost me $1 million. Right? That house is now worth 2.2. I sold it at 1.3. That literally cost me $1 million. So it's everything.
Need to beat them up. What is one thing here that people don't know about you? Never share. I know you
Never share.
I know you're on social media.
I'm an open book, dude. Never shared.
We have a story you never talked about.
My family lost everything when we were 16. When I was 16, I was going to a really expensive private school. We had financial aid, and I'm around all of these kids that have crazy money. Their parents are buying them the nicest paintball guns, the nicest airsoft guns. And we lost everything. I remember having a conversation like, oh, you know what? We're not going to be able to go out for nice dinners and things like that. Maybe to pull back on stuff. And I think that's a big part of what shaped me because I was around so many kids that had so much and I didn't have it. So I had to figure out how to get it.
Yeah.
And so like when I was younger, all my friends had these nice airsoft guns and my parents were like, figure it out, bro. So I'd buy their broken airsoft guns off of them, take apart the gearboxes, fix up the airsoft guns and sell them on fucking Craigslist. Same thing when I turned 16 and started driving cars. I started flipping cars. And I think that's a fundamental piece that people probably don't know about me that started my ability to sell at a young age. And I think that's probably why we're here today.
Yeah. One quick thing before I mentioned the last part. There's a lot of realtors out there. So for the struggling realtors that they're watching this show right now, and they're like, man, you know what? I could barely sell $300,000 Compton, or not even $300,000, like $500,000 Compton homes, and I want to sell like multi-million-dollar homes in Westlake Village, like Shane, and I want to drive a Ferrari and supercars, and because I went to your house. Your house is beautiful, by the way. You offered me champagne when I went to your house, but you're not drinking champagne, so I couldn't offer you champagne this time.
We're locked in, bro.
But these Compton realtors,
yeah.
How do they go from Compton realtors that are struggling to like getting multi-million-dollar listings? Because multi-million-dollar listings is sexy and it's fun and you work hard, but you still have people sending you offers and you're getting listings. And there's a lot of these agents that are struggling. They can't even sell a Compton house and they're showing buyers, they're struggling, they're broke, and they feel like giving up. What do you have? What message do you have for them?
Well, when I first started in real estate, I made $20,000 in commission my first year. I made 20 grand. So, no,
did you feel like quitting?
Yes, I almost dropped out of the business my second year. I had a really bad mentor, and I almost left the real estate business altogether after my first year in real estate. And I went and I interviewed at insurance firms and all these places. And then I realized it doesn't matter which direction you go. It's all hard. And what you need to do is just focus on closing deals. Right. Once you get one done, you get the confidence to get two done. You get the confidence to get 5 done. And then once you have 5 deals done, 10 deals done, the seller that has a $10 million house isn't going to hire the agent that hasn't sold shit. Right. So just focus on getting the sales under your belt first. And then once you have that confidence and you walk around with that like swagger that you're that guy, that there's no one better than you to sell that $10 million house. That's when you start selling the $10 million.
Excellent.
One.
So Shane, it was a great time. If people are watching this and they're like, man, you know what? The Westlake Village expert, number 1 agent in Westlake Village, if they want to hire you, because I'm going to say this. I think if you don't have a personal brand and you're a realtor, like it's going to be way harder for you to sell the house, give it exposure, promote it. Obviously, you built a huge brand in the Westlake Village. You're the guy there. People recognize you wherever you go. So if there's somebody thinking about selling a house in Westlake Village or around Westlake Village, how can people reach out to you and connect with you?
Shoot me a DM on Instagram, shane.homes. And I personally check all of my DMs. We're very responsive. So whatever you guys need, shoot us a DM and we'll take care of you.
Awesome. Thank you, Shane.
Thanks, Albert.
Wow.